Hey guys, my name is Katie Hefner. I'm a three-time elite Beachbody coach. I've been with Beachbody for over 4 years now, and I have so much experience and knowledge that I want to share with you. So if you're watching this video and you look at how long it is, I completely understand. I'm definitely a 1 to 2 minute video kind of girl, so if you have a chance, check out my Success in 60-second series. But this is such an important topic that it's going to take a little bit more time. So I'm going to build in some pause breaks. What I used to do as a new coach when I worked a full-time job, a second job, was going to school and trying to build my business was really just fitting in the work between the cracks. And what I mean by that is 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, listening in my car, listening when I was folding laundry. So I'm going to build in some breaks, so if you do have to pause the video and break it up into sections, you'll be able to do that easily. Now, who is this call for? I'm going to be talking about the emotional roller coaster of Beachbody coaching, what they don't tell you. And what I mean by that, what they don't tell you, is sometimes your sponsor might not know, they might not have experienced it yet. They might think they're the only one going through these battles and these struggles and obstacles, but you're not alone. So this call is for someone who is preparing possibly to become a Beachbody coach. So you'll at least have a heads up on some of the obstacles that you're going to face and have to overcome. If you're someone new starting out, this is a really great call to listen to, so you can be prepared and put your rhino skin on so you know how to deal with some of the frustrations that come up. And if you're a veteran coach or a leader, I hope that I can pass on some tips or information that will help you enable your team to roll with this business and go forward without letting stumbling blocks get them down. So I'm so glad that you're here. Let's dive right in. The emotional roller coaster of coaching, what they don't tell you when you sign up. And I just want to restate that it's not as though they're intentionally withholding information. Some coaches are so new that they don't even know about some of the loop-de-loops and some of the twists that you're going to encounter. And then others might not want to scare you off. So don't worry. I hope that by the end of this call, you will know how to handle everything. You'll know what to expect. So diving in, a roller coaster is defined as a thing that contains or goes through wild and unpredictable changes. The key word here is unpredictable. There are so many things that you don't know about running a business yet because maybe you've never done it before. You've never been a coach before, so you don't know exactly what to expect. So I'm going to fill you in on some of those things. As you see on the bottom of the slide, there are some examples of things that can happen from, initially signing up to having your first sale. Maybe you inspire somebody, maybe you achieve Success Club and you're on a high. But then there are other scenarios that can happen that can make you feel dejected and start to feel doubt creep in or start to feel frustration about your business. As a coach who has been in the game for about 4.5 years, I've had personally sponsored diamond coaches quit. I've had personally sponsored star diamond coaches drop to emerald rank. I've had people return. I've had people sign up as a coach and then go into the witness protection program and never respond to me ever again. So there are things that happen to even the most successful coaches, but the ride is going to be worth it. So in order to help you take awesome notes, I hope you're taking notes because that's where you can really reflect on what you heard and really implement things and how they apply to you. So I'm going to give you our agenda. So I'm going to talk about how to get the most out of this call, how we all have entrepreneur DNA, why most small businesses fail, what you can expect, how people are like crabs, get a little crabby, their perspective, be the lone nut, fill your buckets that build confidence, building your support team, and why this whole crazy ride is worth it. So to get the most out of this call, I want you guys to maximize this video by not just listening to it, but really consuming it, taking notes, reflecting back on those notes, highlighting and circling things that were really great aha moments or takeaways for you. And I want to encourage you to become the master of your own education. So just like with the workouts, I can't do the work for you. Your sponsor coach can't do the work for you. You bring a unique set of skills and experiences to your coaching business, and it's really up to you to be proactive about learning and becoming a master of your own business. The second thing I want you to do is implement. So I can give you all the knowledge in the world, but unless you implement it, then it's kind of useless. It just is sitting in your brain doing nothing. So you have to take action. And the third thing is to share. Share this video, pass knowledge onto your team, make your own video with your aha moments or takeaways. My goal in sharing this and paying it forward is to inspire you guys, to encourage you, so that you can go on to pass on the gift of Beachbody or pass on the gift of being an entrepreneur to the people in your life that you care about, or sometimes people you don't even know yet. So let's dive right in. Have you ever thought about civilization as a whole, the human race? We all started out in the caveman days as entrepreneurs, being self-employed, finding our own food, making our own shelter, doing everything ourselves, making our own clothes, things like that. And then civilization came along, people developed communities and jobs, and that initial entrepreneur DNA was suppressed and people became laborers in factories. So time in for money out, and going to school to get an education so you can get a job so that you can work in that job for X amount of years and then retire. It's time that we go back to our roots and kind of break out of that mold. So here's like a scary statistic that I found very shocking. 66% of small businesses fail. That is a scary number, 66%. Over 50% of businesses, over the half the people that start a small business fail. And it's actually not for the reasons that you may initially think. So most people think, the assumption for that high of a failure rate had everything to do with management and competition, and maybe they didn't have capital, or they chose the wrong location, or they had bad credit, or they couldn't do this, or they couldn't do that. And in reality, the reason for them to fail had nothing to do with those external factors. It had everything to do with internal factors. So the emotional health of the business owner, which is kind of crazy. So they weren't economic reasons, they were emotional reasons. And a lot of that can relate to your Beachbody business. So, the unexpected things coming up and the terrifying emotional roller coaster can take an impact. And it's sad to say that's the greatest factor in why most businesses, quit, or they ultimately fail. So that's a statistic. And I do feel like as Beachbody coaches, we do have, a one up on that statistic, because we are almost like, it's plug and play, really. It's almost like you're a franchise owner. For $39.95 or the cost of a challenge pack, you literally have a business, and Beachbody takes care of millions of dollars of advertising. They take care of shipping. They take care of customer service. They give you websites. They give you a coach ID so that you can plug in. So a lot of the factors you don't have to worry about, but the greatest factor in failure, the emotional side, is something that you need to manage and to work on your personal development, getting on videos like this in order to build up your rhino skin, in order to thicken your skin so you're not cut down by other people, and you have the right mindset and mentality of a business owner. So here's the crazy thing. If you think about it, it's 2015 right now. We live in the absolute greatest era of all opportunity in human history, and it's really such an exciting time. There's been no other time in human history that you can literally have an idea, have a Wi-Fi connection, and the willingness and gumption to work, and you can control your destiny through that. You can build a business through that. So having the desire to do it, having Wi-Fi, or, just being able to go out and talk to people, and you can literally change your entire future. So it's such an exciting time. So I want you to visualize, going back to the roller coaster theme, that you're standing at a ticket booth, and this truly is your fork in the road. You can either continue doing what you're doing to get the same results. So for me, that was working in a retail job, long hours, little appreciation, little pay, or you can break out of that mold, buy a ticket and seize this opportunity and get on this crazy roller coaster that we call coaching. So here's the deal, guys. It's all about you, your choice, your actions, and there are people that are far less capable, far less talented, not as nice as you, who are going to take advantage of this ride. So why not you? And here's where you have to really do some self-reflection. What's holding you back? Are there people in your life that are holding you back, like your friends, your family, your coworkers, that don't believe in what you're doing? They're doubting you, they're hating on it, they're skeptical about it. Maybe there are people in your life who they don't want to change, so they don't want you to change. that's very common in relationships or, coworker relationships? Or is it something internal like fear, doubt, or insecurity where you're doubting yourself? You're saying that you don't have time or money, but really it's that voice inside your head saying that you're never going to make it. So I want you to kind of put those ideas on hold and get yourself in the mindset of being at that ticket booth and buying a ticket for the future. What kind of future do you want to sign up for now? It's the time to rise above all of those perceived risks. And what I mean by perceived risk is we're going to reframe those challenges for you. So there's a reason that you're watching this video right now. There's that free spirit that's just waiting to be awoken inside of you. And you wouldn't be here if that voice wasn't inside you. Maybe right now it's a whisper, but you are capable of so much more. And to tell you the truth, you're deserving of so much more. So I want to inspire you with everything that's possible. Not only for you. Don't be selfish. You have friends, customers, family, and future people that you haven't met that you're going to impact in such an incredible way because you were able to set aside those internal factors and go for it. Go for your dreams and reach for something bigger. So today I'm going to warn you about, the bumps in the road, the death drops, the scary things. And those are actually the things that you learn from. Those are where you get your lessons. And it's actually going to make the ride a lot more exciting. So this business, it just stretches you to grow. It forces you to grow. And that's such an incredible thing. There's not a lot of jobs or industries or things that you can do that force you to do that. So be excited about that. Give it to me straight. I am all about giving you guys everything that I know because I hate surprises. I don't like surprise birthday parties. I don't like surprise presents. I'm the weird kid that would go around at Christmas time and unwrap all of my presents that I could find and then carefully wrap them back up. Not because I wanted to play with them, but honestly, I wanted to predict what my reaction was going to be like, practice my reaction because I didn't want my parents to see if I was disappointed with something. So I don't like surprises. And because of that, I'd rather know, what to expect up front so I can brace myself, so I can prepare myself, and so I can plan ahead and at least lessen the blow of some of the challenges that lay on the road. So by the end of this video, I want to help you put on your rhino skin. And basically what I mean by that is I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I want you to know what to expect. And having a rhino skin or a thick skin is going to protect you because you're going to have to deal with the sting of rejection. You're going to have to deal with negativity and some doubt. And you're going to face these things no matter what. So it's better if you just come to terms with them now so when they do happen, you don't flinch, you don't freak out, you don't, run for the hills screaming. The second thing I want to do is help you get equipped for the ride. So this is your crash course in what you need to survive. And you may hear me say this a bunch of times on this video, and you'll also hear every top coach say this, but to survive the ride, you kind of need to know, what to do. But to thrive, you have to heavily invest in your personal development. You have to do personal development. Personal development to me is the proactive choice to look at the areas in your life where you can you can get better, that you can grow, and you watch videos to help strengthen you in those areas. You listen to audiobooks, you read. Maybe if it's time management, you do Eat That Frog. If you need help with relationships or how to relate to people, you read a book like Personality Plus. If you need leadership help, you pick any of John C. Maxwell's books. So I just have to be honest with you guys, personal development is the key to success. And the third thing is building your confidence. So know that you have to fail forward in this. Failing forward equals learning lessons. So you're going to suck at first. You're going to stumble along the way. You're going to do things that you're going to look back and be embarrassed about. You're going to fall flat on your face. Here's where you have to check your ego at the door and just go for it. Just know that failure equals you're going to get better the next time. You're going to get better the next time. You're going to get better the next time. So the more that you can take action and fail, the greater success you're going to have because you're going to learn more than you can imagine. So you don't even know what you don't know yet. And I promise you, you guys are here for a reason. So let's board this roller coaster. I don't want you to be offended by this, but you're a weirdo, freakazoid, freak, whatever you want to call it, That is you, that is me, that's everyone listening to this video. So a freak, do not be offended. This is somebody who is obsessed with or unusually enthusiastic about a specified interest. And that is the ultimate definition of a Beachbody coach. This business has changed my life physically, emotionally, financially. It's changed my future. It's changed the way that I think about the world. So if you are a freak, that's the highest compliment I can give you. Here's the crazy thing. Most people don't have the courage to be a freak. They don't have the courage to even think about being a freak and get on this crazy roller coaster, but you do, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm so excited to be speaking to you. So not only are you rare for wanting to get on the ride, you're just going to have such an amazing time. I can't even tell you guys. So the weird thing is 90% of people want to be normal. They want to conform to the standard, be common, or be usual, but that's not you. Only about 10% of the population is willing to be an entrepreneur. And instead of just going with the herd, going with the norm, we want to do something different. We want to step out of line. We want to step out of the herd, and people don't like that. It challenges people's choices. It challenges how they feel about themselves, and it's a lot easier for them to call us crazy. It's a lot easier for us, or for them to attack us, to attack our choices, and try to drag us back into being normal so that they can feel better about themselves. So they're going to call you crazy. They're going to call you weird. They're going to call this, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. And that's good. That means that if you're rocking the boat, you're doing something right. It means that you see the world differently. You see your future differently. You don't feel like you have to go by certain rules that somebody else made up. You can branch out on your own and do something that you love and create a future that other people only dream about. Other people don't even think is possible. So you just being part of that 10% have the power to make so much change possible in your life. So welcome to the Freak Show. Okay, all my freaks, I'm going to share a video with you guys that impacted me in ways that I can't even explain. So let me go ahead and play it.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut, and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd, and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers, because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, Have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Every time I watch this, I get goosebumps. I think of Carl as that lone nut who has this crazy idea of ending the trend of obesity, and we're those first followers. And in your own circle, you're that lone nut. And once you get 1 to 2 people who trust in you and believe in the vision, you start to gain confidence as a leader. You show them how easy it is to duplicate what you're doing, and you start to build momentum in your business, and it's such an exciting time. But it does take patience to get there, it does take effort to get there, it does take consistency to get there, and you're not going to get there without a little bit of resistance. So we're going to talk about the resistance and the people that can try to tear you down. So let's talk about how people are like crabs. This is kind of a funny story. Some of you guys may know this, but there's actually a type of crab that exists that's really, really smart and agile, and it's able to get out of any crab trap that people make. So here's the crazy part. These crabs are caught by the thousands every single day. Well, if they're able to get out of the trap, it's like, well, how are they doing that? That doesn't make sense. So the trap that they're caught in is very simple. It's just this wire cage. There's a hole at the top, and fishermen place bait in the cage and they lower it into the water. So just imagine this wire cage in the water with all this bait. Then this little crab, comes along, and it gets in the cage and it starts eating the bait. And then there's a second crab. That second crab sees the first crab and he's like, oh, hey, what's going on in there? And it starts, gets in the cage and starts eating. And then a third, and then, however many get in there, and they're eating the bait like crazy. Eventually, the bait is gone. They've eaten all the bait. And at this point, the crabs can just climb out of the cage and leave. But they don't. They stay in the cage. Why? This is so weird. So long after the bait's gone, the bait's been gone, there's crabs in the cage. More crabs continue to climb inside the cage, and nobody leaves. Not a single crab leaves the trap. Why? If one crab realizes there's nothing keeping him in the cage and he tries to leave and he starts climbing up the side, the other crabs basically go psychotic. They do anything they can to stop him, and they'll pull him from the side of the cage. And if he still is persistent and he keeps trying, the other crabs will tear off his claws. It's really traumatic. If he still keeps trying after that, they'll actually kill him. Crazy, right? Oh, it gives me goosebumps. So the crabs, by the power of the herd, stay together in the cage. And all the fishermen need is a little bit of bait inside this trap, and the rest is easy. They haul up the cage, and then the fishermen have meals for days. So just like the crab world, the human world has this herd mentality as well about following the status quo. So for people, we don't have a wire cage, but our version of the cage means going to school, getting good grades, becoming an employee, becoming a good employee, sticking with your job, and, hoping for that, 3% raise every year. But when you're like that lone crab that decides to walk away from that 90% of the herd, and you step onto the entrepreneurial roller coaster, you step onto the Beachbody roller coaster, you're like that lone crab trying to leave the trap. And the strange thing that happens is, instead of encouraging you, instead of supporting you, instead of nurturing that dream that you have, instead of, lifting you up and helping you, your friends, your family, your coworkers, they get crabby and they start trying to pull you down. And while they might not rip your arms off or, give you the X, I don't know how to say that nicely, they're not going to kill you, basically. They have really effective methods in pulling you back to the herd. So, this is where they really ride on your insecurities. They ridicule it. They make fun of it. They mock it. They guilt you. Maybe they think you're spending too much time with your head in the phone or your head in the computer. They're sarcastic about it. They sneer about it. They belittle it. I had so many people teasing me about Shakeology, teasing me about P90X, an infomercial workout, teasing me about a pyramid scheme. And luckily for me, I was so firmly rooted in what I was doing and so serious about accomplishing that goal that while their efforts did hurt and did, drag me down emotionally at certain points, I just always kept that big picture in my head. So I'm going to hopefully, pass on some information about how I did that, but just know that it's completely normal if your friends and your family try to kill your dreams. So you're not different. Your family's not weird if that happens. That's actually pretty normal. And we're going to think about things from their perspective. So why do they do it if they love you? Well, the first thing is maybe they think you're making them look bad. So you've stepped out of the normal box and you suddenly become this giant mirror that reflects the reality of their own life back to them. So they know what they should be doing, but they're afraid of it. So, this is especially true with working out. I had someone tell me that I was eating too many vegetables and I needed to consult a doctor because it was unhealthy. So they do these things that make no sense because they know that they should be doing them, and you're making them look bad. So instead of joining you, instead of following your lead, it's easier for them to just make fun of you and try to convince you that what you're doing is foolish or stupid or risky or destined to fail, in the hopes that you just give up on it and come back to the pack, come back to the herd, and take that mirror down. That's showing them what they should be doing. Number 2, they aren't as courageous as you. So maybe they can't get over the idea of leaving their security of their job, their weekly paycheck, their benefits, and whatever you're doing, coaching or otherwise, it doesn't fit their model of the world, and they're not brave enough to follow your lead. They think that what you're doing is too risky or crazy. So I can tell you why crabs do what they do, but it's really easy to get caught off guard by this behavior. It's like, well, geez, thanks a lot. I thought you loved me. I want you to imagine you're a waiter. If you ask a customer if they want coffee or dessert, you don't take it personally when they say no. It's just work. But when your friends and your family, when they reject your business, it can hurt a lot more than just, thinking of it as just work, as just a job. You feel like they're personally rejecting you, and it hurts. So being told no at work, if you're a waiter, being told no is one thing. You don't feel like, they're personally saying no to you. But when somebody says no to something you're really passionate about, or they say no to your vision or the business that you've fallen in love with, it feels like they're saying no to you. So I completely understand those feelings, but what you'll have to realize, and what I think you'll just learn through experience, is it's not about you at all. They're really just saying no to themselves, and they're rejecting their own inner voice that prods them to do more with their life. So, it takes a lot of courage to step out, to be brave, and to take risk, and not all of us jumped right into it. Maybe you had to research Beachbody. Maybe it took you months to come around. So practice a little bit of patience with your friends and family, and know that they're not resentful of you or what you're doing. It has everything to do with them. I know that, despite me saying that and despite me preparing you as much as possible, it might still hurt. It might still derail you if you're unprepared or if it's somebody super close to you. But here's the thing. Anybody who has a dream, and especially if it's a dream that can get you out of your day-to-day crab trap, you have to be aware of the other crabs, the other inhabitants of the trap. And they are part of the ride. They are part of the roller coaster. And they're going to be very, very, very persistent, okay? I'm going to warn you, they will not give up. So even if they reject you once and they make fun of it once and you still don't crumble under pressure, just know that crabs can be very persistent in trying to drag you off of your track. But don't worry, I have a plan with helping you with how to resist that and getting to accept your own freaky nature, your own weirdness, and face that disapproval, face that discouragement, face that ridicule, and come back stronger and more resilient than ever. So I love this quote. At first they'll ignore you, and then they'll laugh at you, and then they join you. So number 3, they're trying to protect you. How many times have you guys seen a scam or something where people got taken advantage of? It happens all the time. It's just the sad truth of the world. There are things out there that aren't up to, what they should be. They aren't true. And I really admire anyone who looks out for you. I really do. I think it's smart to do your due diligence before you sign up. I think it's smart to research a company and to know what you're getting yourself into. So if you aren't a coach yet, I'm really, really excited that you're here on this call so you can hear kind of some of the pitfalls of the business and how to avoid them. But just anytime your spouse, significant other, or friends look at this as like a pyramid scheme, just know that they're trying to protect you. They have your best interest in mind, and that's a wonderful thing to be very proud of and appreciative for. And they will eventually come around. Number 4, they've seen every stupid thing you've ever done. So maybe you've started businesses in the past, maybe you went to school and dropped out, maybe you had all these brilliant $1 million ideas and never followed through with them. They've literally seen every stupid thing you've ever done. Maybe you were dancing on a table with a lampshade and now they can't take you seriously in the fitness world. Just know that it's going to take time to build trust, just like you have to build trust with your cold market, just like you have to provide value and lead the way and lead by example, sometimes for quite a while. I always say there's a 6-month turnaround in the business where you have to be super consistent and super passionate for 6 months, which at the time it feels like a lifetime, before people say, oh, she's still doing that. Wow. I thought that was, just some flash in the pan thing. So that's where you have to be patient with them. Your friends and your family usually are the people that are going to take the most convincing in order for them to look at you like an expert in anything, really. And the 5th thing is they love you. So when you think about building a business, you become a Beachbody coach, it's almost like you're scaling a mountain. At the peak of the mountain is your ultimate definition of success, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe that means being a full-time coach, maybe that means retiring your spouse, maybe that means being a millionaire, whatever that looks like for you, you're going for the summit of that mountain. You're climbing up a mountain. Think about this, okay? So for you, you're focused on the summit. You're focused on getting to the top. Your friends and your family who still are unsure of Beachbody, they're still unsure of what to expect, they see you climbing this mountain, and every step you take, every progress, milestone that you meet, you're getting further and further away from the ground. To them, the ground means security, it means safety, it means that secure weekly paycheck and benefits, and you're getting further and further away from their definition of success, their definition of safety. And as you do that, it freaks them out more and more progressively. The higher you go, the more freaked out and scared for you they are. So they're sitting there saying, get off of that mountain, get down before you get hurt. They don't want you to build this business and have your heart broken from it. They don't want to see you be disappointed. They don't want to see you leave the quote-unquote security of your job to go for something that's, in their eyes, unsecure and risky. So with all of that being said, when you think of it from their perspective, I really just want you to have an appreciation for what they're trying to do and a patience if you think that you're that mirror for them. If you think they're not courageous enough to go out on the limb, it's more important for you to lead by example and to be that beacon of light for them than ever before. So they're either trying to protect you or they're not quite there in their journey yet. And here's the truth of the matter. There are going to be people in your life, for me it's my best friend, that just never, they don't want it. They don't want what we want, and that's what makes us part of the 10%. So there are people that you're never going to convince. They're never going to become a coach. As much as they could be your cheerleader, as much as they can be excited for you, they're never going to buy that ticket and get on the roller coaster ride. So come to terms with that as well. And really just have patience with the people in your life and an appreciation for how much they love you and care about you and how much they're trying to protect you. So with that being said, this is where it's really super important to fill your confidence buckets. Here are the things you're going to do to set yourself up for success, because you are going to have dips in the road. So maybe you have a fitness backslide where you gain the weight that you lost. Maybe you're doubting yourself. Why would anyone ever join me? Why would anyone ever listen to me? I don't see myself as a leader, things like that. Maybe you've had cancellations or returns. Maybe people tell you no and you're rejected and you feel bad about that because you're taking it personally. Or maybe you just get distracted. You move, there's a wedding, you had a baby, blah, 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 blah. All these different things happen. Hello, it's life. We don't live in a vacuum. So get used to the fact that you're going to have to protect your dream sometimes from yourself. So how to build your momentum. Here's how you're going to fill your buckets. And this is how you're going to become resilient. This is how you're going to stay on track. This is how you're going to feed your belief. You're going to visualize your future. You're going to visualize why it is that you're working so hard. You're going to invest in a personal development plan. So making a list of the things that you feel like you can improve. If you're sitting there saying, well, I don't even know what I need to improve, then you need to start out with the basics. Talk to your sponsor about, some of the best books like Go For No, Go Pro, Rock Your Network Marketing Business. I mean, there are just so many. I can post a thing in the comments with all those. But understand that the more you invest in your growth, the more capable you're going to be, and the more you're going to be able to pour into other people. So your business is never going to grow bigger than you. So personal development, personal development, personal development. I feel like I just want to say it 100 times so that it sinks in. The more you do it, the more you're going to realize how important it is. The other thing is plugging into team calls. Events are so important so you can be surrounded by like-minded people. Getting on the national wake-up call. Not every call you're going to hear the most gold nugget tip that changes your business, but there are going to be little tweaks here and there of things other people do or the way that they say them that are going to impact you and going to make you better and stronger. Keep it simple. This business is very simple to overcomplicate, very easy to overcomplicate, and that's why they came up with the 3 vital behaviors. Do your workouts and be proof that products work. Be your own walking billboard. Personal development, being proof that the products work, personal development, those are so, so, so important. And then the last one, does anyone know what it is? Invite. Share what you're doing. Invite people to free things. Add value. Invite people to challenge groups. Invite people to the coaching opportunity to join your business as a coach and look at the financial freedom possibility for themselves. So invite, be proof the products work, and personal development, non-negotiables every single day. The last thing is building a success team. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but having a success partner, someone who's at a similar place in the business, who might have similar goals, where you can commiserate with each other if things go wrong. You can brainstorm with each other. You can check in for accountability. You can become awesome friends. So, the community of Beachbody has been such a game changer for me personally, having that person that I can go to and I feel like they understand what I'm going through. But also that they have the desire to reach for greater things in life, and that just pushed me that much more in my own business. So here's the thing. You have to understand that no coach, you're not going to be special because you're not going to be immune to these backslides and dips. I want you to be aware of them, but I also want you to be aware of analysis paralysis. If you're so afraid of doing anything because you don't want anything to go wrong, well, then you're not going to learn anything at all. So by inaction and taking no action, you're not going to move forward, you're not going to move backward. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying before, learning to fail forward. I'm going to give you guys some specific numbers on failing forward and how the more failure you have, the more success you'll have. Just mentally, you're going to have so many thoughts go through your head. You're going to have limiting beliefs, things that you believe hold you back, which really are figments of your imagination. You're going to have negative self-talk at times. You're going to have defeating thoughts. You're going to shrink back at times when things don't go well. And that's why it's so important to fill those confidence buckets and implement improvements so that you can move forward and know how to not only handle it the next time it happens, but then to teach your team how to handle it. So here's my specific example on numbers of how failing more is going to give you more success. So we're going to reframe the way that you think about failing. Failing is not failing. Failing, in my opinion, failing would be giving up. Failing has nothing to do with the action that you take because failure leads to a learning experience where you can implement improvements. And here's the thing, if you're afraid to fail, I want you to reframe fear as excitement. Those butterflies you get in your tummy, those are the same butterflies you get if you're really, really excited about something and you can't wait for it to happen. So I want you to rethink the way that you picture failure in your mind and give yourself grace and permission to get a little messy, to go out on a limb and try something new so that you can learn how to do it. And just a really quick story for you guys. My first challenge group that I ever ran, I think was probably the worst challenge group in Beachbody history. 5 girls, nobody lost any weight. I'm pretty sure that people gained weight, and I didn't even know what I was doing. But the crazy thing about it is I would never have known what to do next if I hadn't had that experience, if I hadn't said, okay, well, here's what I could do differently next time. And the thing is, 2 of those 5 girls eventually signed up with me as their sponsor coach. They eventually became coaches with Beachbody, which I was so grateful because they like trusted me that much. So failure equals learning experience. We're going to do a little bit of math here. So if you invite 2 people per day this month, assuming it's a 30-day month, you're going to have about 60 invites that you put out there into the world. If you have a 10% success rate, which is about the success rate that I had as a new coach, you're going to have 6 people that say yes, which could equal Success Club 12, and you're going to have 54 people that say no. 54 people. Hearing 54 no's, that can get you down. That's a lot of people saying no. But when you look at, oh my gosh, I'm helping 6 people get started, I'm helping 6 people change their lives, that's incredible to me. If you were to say, you know what, let me fail even bigger, let me swing the pendulum even further in the direction of failure, I'm going to invite 5 people per day this month, so I'm going to have about 150 invites. If you have an even crappier success rate, if you have a 5% success rate, you are going to have to stand there and listen to 143 no's. That is a lot of times to say no, but the crazy thing that happens is you're going to have 7 people that say yes. So even though you're inviting so many more people, you're getting more yeses. If you have that same success rate, that 10% success rate, you're going to have 15 people say yes. So the bigger you swing, the more momentum you build to soar. The bigger you're willing to swing on the side of failure, the more momentum you're going to be given to have success, to have people join you, to have people join, whether it's your coaching opportunity or a free group or challenge group, whatever it looks like. Don't be afraid of the no. The no equals learning experience so that you can get better and better the next time. And I always say this to my coaches. In the beginning, I did so many things, so many conversations that I am embarrassed by, so many times that somebody asked what Shakeology was and I wrote them back a novel about it. But unless I had that experience, I would never have learned how to get better. I would have never tweaked my approach and improved my approach. So the cool thing is, let's just say you're really afraid to host a team call. When your team is small, when you have a team of 2 or 3, just think of it as only 2 or 3 people are going to see you suck. And then when you're hosting team calls of 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people, you're going to be so well prepared because you had all those experiences where you were allowed to fumble through them and get better and better and better every single time. So in order to be able to stand up to all that rejection, all of those no's, 143 no's, you need to build your support team. And this kind of goes back into, filling those confidence buckets. So your support team, they're going to be people that help you build your belief in yourself. They're going to remind you of your goals, remind you of your dreams, and help you stay the course. So the first person or people that I want you to include in your dream is your spouse or maybe a family member or significant other, or whatever that looks like for you. And while they might not support what you're doing, they might not understand it, I wrote out a little script for you to share with them. Because the important thing is not that they believe in Beachbody, it's that they know you, they see how passionate you are, and they want to support you. They love you, so they want to support you. So you can say, I know that you might not understand this or trust it yet, but can you give me 6 months of your full support while I give it my all? Just ask them for 6 months. And through that course of 6 months, you're going to need their support. You're going to need them to listen to you vent or have frustrating moments or complain about, whatever it is that's getting you down so that you can get right back on the horse. The second thing is a success partner, which we talked about a little bit ago. A success partner is someone really for accountability. So doing daily check-ins or monthly check-ins where you're making sure that each other is inviting, that you're doing the 3 vital behaviors, and that you're really growing together. It's a really cool partnership to build with somebody. The third thing is supportive friends. These are people that can be inside of Beachbody or outside of Beachbody. I had tons of friends who were unsupportive of Beachbody, but I also had a core group of friends that didn't understand what I was doing, but at least I knew they had my back. So those are the people that I turn to in time of need. The fourth is a mentor. A mentor is somebody that can be in your circle or somebody that you're watching from afar. So as an example, Oprah would be my from afar mentor. It's somebody who's experienced and that you trust and that can advise you on things. Marie Forleo is really my go-to mentor from afar. She always posts videos on her website and on YouTube. She's someone who's experienced in business. I love her style. I always listen to her advice. So even though she's not mentoring me one-on-one, I do take the information that she puts out there and I learn to implement it for my own business. You also have your sponsor coach that you can turn to. And here's where I want to make a little side note. I put a quote at the bottom of the slide so that I can really emphasize the point. This quote is from the book Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. I forget if she's CEO or CFO of Facebook. But in her book, here's a quote. I never used the word mentor, but I invested a lot of time in her development. So I was surprised one day when she stated flatly that she never had a mentor or anyone really looking out for her. I asked what a mentor meant to her. She explained that it would be someone she spoke to for at least an hour every week. I smiled, thinking, that's not a mentor, that's a therapist. Understand that your mentor is not your therapist. They're not going to track you down. They're not going to be able to be on the phone with you maybe for an hour every week and listening to everything, you catalog the events of the week. It's somebody that you go to, that you respect each other's time, that maybe you go to them with specific things that you need to work on, like how to invite or how to post a sneak peek post on your Facebook, that they can give you feedback and advice, something that they've done before that you can turn to them for help. You can also do, a one-on-one call with them where you submit your business activity tracker so they kind of have a snapshot of your week or something to go on. So a mentor is not someone that you lean on. A mentor is someone that can really help guide you, but you need to respect the relationship is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to use them as your crutch. The fifth thing is plugging into your team. So many teams have Facebook pages dedicated to connecting with each other. That's such an important resource to plug into. If your team is small and you don't have that yet, you need to be the change you wish you see in the world, if you will. So it does take time to grow, especially if you're a newer team. It does take consistency. It does take patience. But the more you put into it, you have to take ownership over it. The more you put into it, the more other people are going to put into it, and the more you're going to get out of it. So anytime, I don't like when I hear whining when someone says, oh, my success partner sucks. That may or may not be true. The thing is, you have to be the absolute best success partner. You have to be the absolute best sponsor coach. You have to be the absolute best coach for your customers, and you will get that in return. I promise you. Sometimes it does take patience. Sometimes it does take, there's a learning curve there, absolutely. But I promise you, if you build your support team, it's going to evolve over time, and you're going to learn how to respect each other's time more and to get out of the relationships what you need to get out, and you're going to put in what you need to put in. So with all that being said, why is it worth it? Why is this journey worth all the pitfalls, the family rejecting you, people returning and you getting frustrated, and all these things happening? It's worth it because you have to look at the bigger picture. For me, my number one motivator has always been freedom. It's always been being able to throw away my alarm clock, wake up when I want, spend all day with the dogs, go to Disney if I want, sleep in if I want. It's still a business. I have to treat it like a business. There are certain things I have to do, but I have the flexibility to work it when I want, how I want to work it, who I want to work with. So in short, it's the freedom of choice. I have choice in so many different things, including finances, having financial freedom, not having to live paycheck to paycheck, not having to live under this glass ceiling that I've created for myself. Having financial freedom, paying off my mortgage, having zero debt has been such an incredible burden lifted off my shoulders. The personal growth that you do in your relationships, maybe you're married and it just encourages you to be a better wife, a better mom, a better friend, a better daughter. I love the personal growth and growing as a leader and a businesswoman. The friendships that you make are absolutely priceless. I can't even explain to you how incredible the friendships have been for me. This business, this company, this purpose is so fun. And speaking of purpose, we have an incredible life-changing purpose to help end the trend of obesity, to help people live longer and healthier lives, to have people enrich their life, through the financial opportunity or through having better relationships. Our purpose, I'm so drawn to that and so connected with it that it's what pushes me to do more and be more and become more. And the impact that we can make on the world around us. It's just, I can't even explain to you guys how much I love this business and how much I love the opportunity, and I love that you're here, and I love that these are the things that you're pushing for and that you're working toward, even though there's going to be times that it's hard. It is hard at times. You've never done this before. You've never been a business owner before. You've never run a team of 2 people. Maybe you've never run a team of 10,000 people. You've never been, at every stage in the business, there's growing pains. Maybe you've never been a diamond coach before. So when you get to diamond, you're like scrambling to learn everything you can learn. Maybe you've never been a 5-star before. So you're trying to learn as you go and soak in as much as you can, and watch other leaders and be a sponge for all of those experiences and that information. And the cool thing is, when you look at whatever your dreams are, whatever your passion is, whatever the desires of your heart are, they're placed there for a reason. I don't believe that it's just coincidence that you're here. I don't believe that it's just coincidence that you happen on Beachbody. And I also don't believe that we're given dreams that we can't fulfill. I believe 100% if God put a dream in your heart, He also put, the other things in your toolbox that you need to fulfill it. And the challenges that we face are simply getting us ready for bigger challenges. They're getting us ready for whatever we need to accomplish that goal. Maybe right now, every time someone rejects you, you just crumble in a pile, and you need to toughen up so that when you are leading a team of thousands of people, when you hear rejection in some way, you know how to reframe that challenge and understand that it's a reflection of that person, and that person's hurting, and maybe you're the person that needs to reach out your hand and say, how can I help you? Clearly from whatever they're doing, the way that they're acting, it's a cry for help. So I 110% believe that our struggles are here to strengthen us. They're learning lessons. And every time we learn and implement new improvements, we're getting stronger, we're getting better, we're getting fiercer. And it just leads to incredible things that you guys can't even imagine right now. I really believe 100% that network marketing is the greatest vehicle to provide you with not only freedom of time, but then also that financial security. So in this business, you do a lot of work in the beginning for little to no reward, and you reach a tipping point where then suddenly you get a lot of reward, a lot of financial reward for not having to work as hard, and then you can go do the other things that your heart desires, whether it's volunteer work or travel or spending more time with your family. So with that being said, take action. So it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. I want you guys to embrace the struggles, reframe them as learning experiences, and look for the lesson. I want you to watch the how to start a movement video every time you're feeling down, every time you feel like you need that inspiration and know that you're that lone nut. I want you to build your success support team. Maybe that means writing the names down. Maybe that means calling people. Maybe that means putting yourself out there and being vulnerable to them and sharing how much this business means to you. Just know that DNA has nothing to do with success. Turn your genes into overalls and get to work. Don't take rejection personally. Don't take the struggles seriously. Just know that the bumps in the road are designed challenges to make you stronger. I hope that this helps. That was a mouthful. Are you guys still here? Oh my gosh. So first of all, thank you so much for watching this far. If you like this video, if you got something out of this training, please, please, please do me a favor and comment below with any light bulb aha moments you have. I love to hear those. I love to hear progress. I love to hear your tips for other people, because the truth is the magic doesn't necessarily happen in the training. It happens in the comments when you guys engage with other people. And the other cool thing is the more comments there are, the more people are actually encouraged to watch an hour-long training. So do that one favor for me. I really appreciate it. have so much love for Beachbody and the Beachbody community. So any way that I can pay it forward and share with you guys, I'm trying to do so as much as possible. So yeah, I just wish that you guys have a blessed business, that you continue to spread the word and share this gift with as many people as possible, and you keep continuing to evolve and grow as a leader, as a business person, as a girl boss, and your life is just going to be so incredible, so incredible. So I'm really excited for you. Leave comments, don't forget, subscribe, and I'm going to try to post some more videos. All right. Sen shower down, see it,